A very good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onizi. First, the headline. Ministerial nominee summit document as Senate holds screening today. U.S. announces visa restriction for Ghana. French president in Morocco on visit aiming to strengthen ties. And on sport, Kano pillars fined 2 million naira for improper conduct. Now the news in details. Ministerial nominees have begun the documentation process ahead of the screening and confirmation by the Senate, set up to commence today, that is Tuesday. This was announced on Monday evening by the Special Advisor to the President on Senate Matters, Bashir Lado. Lado said nominees were already submitting relevant documents as the first in the series of procedures for the screening and confirmation of ministerial nominees. The nominees are expected to be screened and confirmed by the Senate in the compliance with Section 147 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. The Senate received President Bola Tinubu's formal request for the screening and confirmation of 7 ministerial nominees last Thursday. The president's request was conveyed in a later address to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, which was read at the start of plenary on Thursday. Away from that, we'll have you know that the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has said the telecommunication system of the country is currently witnessing a lot of attacks. These and other attacks on the military networks, national database and digital system, among others, he said, had a ripple effect on the nation's economy. He spoke at the National Cybersecurity Coordination Center workshop for policymakers and sector regulators on critical national information infrastructure protection and resilience in Abuja on Monday. We also have you know that the governors of the 19 northern states on Monday called for the diversification of energy following persistent blackout in 17 states of the region recently. Apart from the Niger and Kwara, 17 others in the north are without electricity supply in the last 2 weeks. The worst affected are Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, Gombe, and Katsina, who have not had supply in the last 2 weeks. Others are Sokoto, Zamfara, Bauchi, Yobe, Borno, Adamawa, Taraba, Niger, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kogi, and Benue. As part of efforts to resolve this issue, the governor of Gombe State, Mohamadu Yahayal, who is also the chairman of the Northern State Governors Forum, convened a joint meeting involving the 18 other governors from the region and traditional rulers in Kaduna State on Monday. Now, when we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back. Now news from other parts of West Africa. The U.S. State Department on Monday announced it will restrict visas for people who Washington deems responsible for undermining democracy in Ghana. The move comes ahead of presidential and parliamentary election due to take place in the West African country on 7th December. Ghana has had peaceful, free, fair, and transparent election for nearly 2 decades, but allegations of voter roll irregularities this year have created concern about a possible democratic backslide. The December poll will be the ninth consecutive general election since the country's return to multi-party democracy in 1992. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was quoted as saying that the visa policy announced on Monday would be directed only at people who undermine democracy and not at the government or people of Ghana. Now we move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. Botswana, known as one of Africa's longest standing democracies, is set to conduct its general election on October 30th, as announced by President Mokwatsi Masisi. Masisi aims to secure a second and final term following the endorsement of his candidacy by his ruling party. This election will determine the composition of parliament and the lawmakers who will subsequently choose the president. It takes place during a period of economic uncertainty for a country that heavily depends on diamond mining. Botswana, the world's second largest diamond producer after Russia, has been the source of the largest rough gems discovered in the last 10 years. Away from that, we'll have you know that French President Emmanuel Macron arrived in Morocco on Monday, where he is scheduled to discuss partnership regarding trade, climate change, and immigration. During the 3-day visit to Rabat, he will meet with the King Mohammed and Prime Minister Aziz and will also address Parliament. His visit aims to strengthen ties between the two countries after years of tension, particularly over France's stance on the disputed Western Sahara. In July, he changed Paris' long-standing public position and backed Morocco's autonomy plan for the territory. Up next is business. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back now to business news. The Nigerian federal government, through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Authority, has issued licenses for 9 modular refineries. The chief executive of NMPDRA, Farouk Ahmed, said this on Monday at the 2024 Oil Trading and Logistics Africa Downstream Energy Week in Lagos. He said the licenses were issued under President Bola Tinubu's administration in the past year. According to him, Nigeria's refining capacity has been increasing under the current administration, especially with the Dangote refinery coming on stream. He said the NDPRA issued 9 licenses to establish modular refineries, 7 licenses to construct, and 4 licenses to also operate modular refineries. Still on business news, we will have you know that the federal government has announced plan to assist 600,000 small-scale farmers across the country as part of efforts to boost food production and address rising inflation. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edon, disclosed this at the Nigerian delegation's press briefing during the 2024 IMF World Bank annual meeting in Washington, D.C. This was according to a statement from the Ministry of Director of Information and Public Relations, Mohammed Manga. Edun stated that the government is focused on gathering the wet season harvest while providing support to ensure a productive dry season. According to the minister, with food accounting for 50% of the consumer price index, increasing agricultural output is key to bringing down inflation. Also have you know that during President Emmanuel Macron's state visit to Morocco, he and Moroccan King Mohammed signed new deals at the Royal Palace, bolstering ties between the two nations. The agreements, which are worth around £10 billion, cover issues including investment, energy, and infrastructure. According to the agreement to Morocco, the Phosphates Office and Energy Company Energel sealed an agreement with potential investment of up to €3.5 billion. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv.
Welcome back now to sport news. The Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL) has fined Kano Pillars ₦2 million for improper conduct of their players and officials in the matchday 9 clash against Nasarawa United. Kano Pillars were also charged for a statement from the Media and Communication Directorate quoting their player Ahmed Musa, in which he made disparaging statements about match officials. The Sai Musul were also accused of failing to ensure the proper conduct of their team, resulting in the unruly behavior of Ugochukwu Gabriel during the match. The MPFL also suspended Gabriel for the 9 matches starting from matchday 10 fixtures for his unruly conduct. Kano Pillars have further been issued a warning on publishing inflammatory statements in future and advised to use appropriate channels to register their complaint, as a recurrence will lead to weightier sanctions. Still on sport news, football enthusiasts have taken to social media to commend Nigeria under-17 women's team despite crashing out of the FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup in the Dominican Republic. Bankole Olowokere side suffered a 2-0 defeat to the United States of America in their quarterfinal clash at the CFC Stadium, Santiago de los Caballeros, on Saturday, and then their quest for the much-coveted trophy. 2 goals from Catherine Fowler and Kimball Arsenio were enough to send the Flamingos packing as the Americans avenged their 2022 quarterfinals loss to Nigeria. Fuller put the Americans ahead from the penalty spot in the 33rd minute before Arsenio doubled the lead in the 74th minute to seal victory for the 3-time quarterfinalists. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this oh,
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutual has revealed that 5,000 Kenyans are stranded in Qatar, left without work or financial support. Mutua blamed Royal Recruitment Agency for misleading Kenyans with false promises of well-paying jobs abroad. Mutua explained that most of these Kenyans traveled to Qatar during the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Doha, only to remain there jobless after the tournament ended. According to Mutual, some agencies charge Kenyans job seekers up to $1,933.92 often leading people to sell properties or take on debt to afford the fees. However, many of these jobs only lasted 3 months, leaving workers unable to afford the trip back home. Mutua highlighted the corruption as a major factor behind the exploitation of job seekers, with agencies pocketing high fees while failing to secure sustainable employment for recruits. As part of his commitment to reform, Mutua aims to protect Kenyan job seekers from exploitation and ensure legitimate opportunities for those seeking work abroad. And that's Africa Today, but before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that nominee summit document as Senate holds screening today. We also brought to you that U.S. announces visa restriction for Ghana. And we informed you that French president in Morocco on visit aiming to strengthen ties. And on sport, we told you that Kano Pillars fined 2 million naira for improper conduct. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Wisdom Onis.